Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Mbogo. So dear students, in this video, I'd like to take you through alliteration, consonants and assonance, that is under listening and speaking. So the trio, that is alliteration, consonant and assonance, dear students, are some of the most common poetic devices, or what we call the sound patterns that are used by poets in their work. So to begin with, dear students, allow me start by looking at alliteration in poetry. So talking about alliteration, this is the repetition of the same sounds or of the same kinds of sounds at the beginning of words or in stressed syllables. And remember, it is not only about sounds, but the initial consonant sounds that we have in different words in the same line. So alliteration involves the recurrence of these consonant sounds in close proximity in order to create a rhythm. So they are used, alliteration is used in poetry to create rhythm or musicality. So to help us understand what alliteration is better, dear students, we have two lines or two examples that can help us, illustrate this. So the first one, she sang a sad song. She sang a sad song. So looking at that line, we have got the consonant sounds. And remember, when indicating sound, the letter is written in between two forward slashes to indicate that it is a sound. So it is no longer a letter, but a sound. So we have the sound in sang, then there is also sad, the sound is recurring, and also there is the sound in song. So it keeps on recurring. Then on the second example, onto the second example, they lasted longer than they had last time. They lasted longer than they had last time. So again, looking at the second example, we have three words, that is lasted, longer, and last. Last, long, last. So if you study the three words keenly, you will realize that there is a consonant sound that has been repeated. We have got a consonant sound, that is L, that is repeated or it is recurring in longer and again in last. So you can identify that by underlining the sound, and when underlining, ensure that the underline touches only on the sound, because if the underline goes to the next sound that is not a part of the sound that is alliterated, it is penalized. So apart from using underline to illustrate the alliterated sounds, you can also decide to write the sound separately as indicated there. So on to the next thing, that is consonants. Consonants in poetry. Consonants in poetry. So dear students, consonants also has something to do with the consonant sound. But now the only difference between consonants and alliteration is that in consonants, we identify the consonant sounds that are repeated at the middle or at the end of words that we have in a line of a poem. So consonants involves the repetition of consonant sounds that are present at the middle or at the end of words. And remember, alliteration had something to do with repetition of the same consonant sounds at the beginning. That is the meaning of initial. So that means that in alliteration, the focus is on the initial or on the first sound that we have in a word, in a line of a poem. So now having defined what consonants is, that is a repetition of consonant sounds at the middle or at the end of words. How about we look at some two examples to help us illustrate whatever we have said or the definition that we have given. So the first example, he fought and thought about it. He fought and thought about it. So if you look at the three words, that is thought, thought, and about, you realize that we have got the consonant. We have the consonant G. That is, if we look at the two words, not the three, sorry, the two words, thought and thought, thought and thought. We have got the consonant sounds GH, T, also the other side, GHT. Then on the second example, or onto the second example, she had talked about it a lot. She had talked about it a lot. She had talked about it a lot. Again, if you look at that, we have about and a lot. So there is consonants in that we have in it, and the other sound t that we have in lot. So she talked about it a lot. Not only the two, not only the two sound in it and the two sound in lot, we also have another sound that is being formed by that is the consonant sound, I mean the consonant letter D. So the consonant letter D is giving us a sound that is similar to the one that is heard at the end of it, and again the one that is heard at the end of lot. So in the second example, if we want to illustrate, assonance, or how consonant sounds have been repeated in the line, we therefore underline the consonant letter D that is giving us a sound t. Then we also underline the T in about and the T in lot. So again, we have got a question here, just a stanza to also, help give us further examples. So describe the use of alliteration and consonants in the poem below. The gloomy gallant faces stare sadly at their fate. The silent voices so eloquent, begging for justice as Jesus justified. No love between neighbors is the biggest sin on earth. No love between neighbors is the biggest sin on earth. So the question is, describe the use of alliteration and consonants in the poem. So talking about alliteration to begin with, we have gloomy and gallant. So the G sound is alliterated. Then again, still under alliteration, we have stare sadly, stare sadly. So again, if you look at the initial consonant sounds in stare and sadly, they are, they are recurring. So we say the S sound is alliterated. And again, if we look at silent and so, again, the S sound is alliterated. Then lastly, under alliteration, we have justice, Jesus, justified. So the first sound, the initial sound in justice, Jesus, and justified are alliterated. Then again, on consonants, that is the repetition of consonant sounds in the middle or at the end of words, we have silent and eloquent. So we underline the sound. Then again, neighbors is, we have got the S sound in neighbors and the S sound in is. So that is an example of consonants. So on to the next area, let us look at assonance. So assonance in poetry is also called vowel rhyme. So it is the repetition of vowel sounds in words that follow each other closely in a poem, usually to create a musicality. So when you talk about assonance again, it is a rhyme. It is a rhyme in which the same vowel sounds are used with the different consonants in the stressed syllables of the rhyming words. So remember, syllables are a unit of words. So example, we have two words here, penitent and reticence. So if you look at the E, that is the vowel sound E in penitent, and there is also a repetition of that vowel sound E in reticence. So that is what assonance is. So again, we have a question here, a stanza that is to help us identify or give further examples of assonance. So describe assonance in the poem below. The poem is Politics. All his life, James had thanked her, pleading, heaving, and leaning on false fortified force. Filth sickly and sinful to her hateful eyes, wooing him, she looked good, sly fly, and likely to puke. She had slept with him and borne him a boy. The boy was buoyant and young. I am their only son, and they are rival politicians. So the question again is describe assonance in the poem below. So assonance being the repetition of vowel sounds either at the middle or at the end of vowel sounds. These are some of the examples that we are able to identify from the poem. So number one, we have had and thanked. So in the two words, we have the vowel sound ah that is repeated. Then again, looking at the three words, pleading, heaving, and leaning, we have the consonant E that is also repeated in the three words. Then on to the next word, we have filth, sickly, and sinful. Again, there is the vowel sound E that is repeated. There is also a pair of words that is born and boy. So in born and boy, we also have the vowel sound O that is repeated. And lastly, looking at the last pair, that is boy and buoyant, we also have the vowel sound O that is repeated. So dear students, that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you for watching till the end, and remember to always keep it easy, Limo. Until next time, bye.